Welcome back, fellas. This is your boy back at it again. And in this video, I'll be discussing my top 10 biggest steals in the NBA draft since 1985. I will not include any players that were drafted in the top 10. Obviously, there have also been many steals inside the top 10, like Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Paul Pierce, and Larry Bird, to name a few. But in this video, this ranking is strictly for players that were drafted outside the top 10. There are a lot of players to choose from over the last 30 years who fit in this category. But without further ado, let's get into it. Over the course of NBA history, there have been many players who, for one reason or another, were snubbed by teams that had the opportunity to draft them. There are many reasons why this happens. Sometimes it's the fault of scouts for incorrectly evaluating the potential of a player. Sometimes an athlete that was superior in college is chosen and turns out to be a bust. And in some cases, the player in question is simply a late bloomer. These factors have allowed many teams to steal such great players throughout the history of the draft. Here's my top 10 ranking of the biggest steals in the NBA draft selected outside the top 10 since 1985. Coming in at number 10 is forward Draymond Green. Draymond Green was drafted 35th overall in the second round by the Golden State Warriors. He had a great career at Michigan State, but no one knew it would translate to such brilliant versatility in the NBA. Draymond's size, defensive positioning, and instincts allow him the ability to guard all 5 positions well. Today, Draymond Green is one of the most versatile players in the league, with his exceptional passing, defense, rebounding, and outside shooting. Coming in at number 9 is shooting guard Jimmy Butler. Butler has established himself as one of the best two-way wing players in the league, a fact that might be hard to believe seeing how he was drafted with the very last pick in the first round. After a solid career at Marquette, draft decision makers underestimated Butler's lockdown defensive talent and offensive potential. He has become the Chicago Bulls franchise player over the last couple of seasons by hard work and steady shooting improvement. As a result, he won the Most Improved Player award during the 2014-15 season. Coming in at number 8 is point guard Tony Parker. The San Antonio Spurs or Kings are drafting the best available player and finding gems in the draft. The 2001 draft proved to be an extremely weak class, as many names drafted in the top 10 never amounted to much in the NBA. And the Spurs were able to draft Tony Parker with the 28th pick in the draft, and he became a major contributor to 4 NBA championships for the Spurs. He was the first European-born player to win NBA Finals MVP in 2007. This 6-time NBA All-Star has put together an incredible career, and he can thank Greg Popovich and the Spurs organization for his development. Coming in at the 7th spot is power forward Dennis Rodman. One of the most tenacious and weird players to ever play in the league is none other than the Worm, Dennis Rodman. Rodman's attitude and reports of his ego made many teams consider him too much of a risk to draft. Rodman was selected 27th overall by the Detroit Pistons in the 1986 NBA draft, and they could not have predicted that he would become one of the best rebounders to ever play the power forward position. He was a spark plug for the Bad Boys in Detroit and the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s. He could guard all 5 positions with ease, as he was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, and he won 2 titles with the Pistons and 3 titles with the Bulls. Coming in at number 6 is shooting guard Joe Dumars. The 6'3" shooting guard out of McNeese State University was drafted by the Detroit Pistons with the 18th pick in the 1985 NBA draft. This 6-time All-Star was one of the best two-way players of all time, and Michael Jordan credited him as one of the toughest defenders he ever faced. You could say that Joe Dumars made Mike become a better player. This 2-time champion was known as a defensive standout and a clutch shooter. If a team had a chance to draft a 6-time All-Star, an NBA Finals MVP, a 4-time All-Defensive First Teamer with the 18th pick, all 30 teams would have taken that opportunity. Coming in at number 5 is small forward Kawhi Leonard. Leonard is just breaking into his prime, and he's already racking up the hardware. He's earned a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year honors, and ranked top 10 in defensive rating in each of his last 2 seasons. The Spurs were able to steal this guy when he was still available at 15 in the 2011 draft. The Indiana Pacers were drafting at 15, and decided they needed a point guard badly, and they agreed to draft Kawhi Leonard for the Spurs in exchange for George Hill. Kawhi Leonard's dominance on defense and his exponential growth on offense have made him currently the Spurs franchise player, and the best part is that we haven't even seen the best from him yet. At the 4th spot is point guard Steve Nash. One of the best floor generals of all time, was selected with the 15th pick by the Phoenix Suns in the 1996 NBA draft. No one knew Steve Nash would have become a 2-time MVP. Even if you think he didn't deserve the second one, it's no doubt he was at least the runner-up. Not only was he a great passer, but Steve Nash was also a great shooter. Nash had multiple seasons where he shot over 50% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc, and 90% from the free throw line. He never won an NBA title, but he will go down as one of the best to play his position. Coming in at number 3 is power forward Karl Malone, one of the best power forwards to ever play this game. After 12 selections in the 1985 NBA draft, the mailman Karl Malone was still on the board, and the Utah Jazz had no problem drafting him with the 13th overall pick. Malone was a 14-time NBA All-Star who averaged 25 and 10 per game throughout his impressive NBA career, and he also won 2 league MVP awards. This guy is the second leading scorer in NBA history. He never won a title during his career, but he's definitely an NBA great. Coming in at number 2 is shooting guard Manu Ginobili. Today we can say that this Argentinian player is a true NBA legend and a future NBA Hall of Famer. But back in 1999, he was actually almost not drafted. Ginobili was selected with the 57th pick out of a possible 58 selections in the 1999 draft. Since then, he's been showing how everybody was wrong about him. His intelligence and passing ability is second to none. With his Euro step, wraparound passes, and finishes at the hoop, Ginobili injected more creativity and beauty into the game of basketball than almost anybody. And also being known for his effort, his clutch shooting, Ginobili has quickly gone from a dominating starter to one of the NBA's best 6-man for a perennial championship contender. Coming in at the top spot is shooting guard Kobe Bryant, aka the Black Mamba. It's crazy to think that even in a draft class as legendary as the 1996 draft, that Kobe Bryant slipped all the way down to the 13th overall pick. And then he was later traded from the Hornets to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. Yep, fellas, Kobe Bryant is the biggest steal in NBA history. It didn't take long for his talent to explode on the court. He was the backbone of the Lakers dynasty that won 5 championships in a decade. His work ethic is second to none. Talent can get you to the NBA, but hard work is the difference between being good and being great. Kobe is one of the most prolific scorers in the history of the league, and he went out on top scoring 60 points in his final game. Mamba out.